What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be starting my college football 2022-2023 predictions, as I haven't really done college football predictions in a while. I mean, I did them a little bit last year, but I've gotten more into the sport a lot recently. And with the college football season starting in about a month and a half, I thought I should do it now so that I can get my NFL predictions in August and not have to worry about those. But I'm going to go with the ACC first. I live in the ACC range, and I support many of the ACC teams. Well, NC State I support, but North Carolina and Wake Forest and Clemson and Florida State and all these good colleges I have connections with and rivalries with, since I like and enjoy NC State. So without any further ado, let's get right into this video. And start out with the Atlantic Division. We're going to go with the division winner in Clemson. Now, Clemson had a down year last season. It wasn't really a down year because it was still a good season for an average college football team. But this is Clemson. This is a team that wins college football championships. This is a team that is known for their legacy. And without Trevor Lawrence, they really had a downfall at the quarterback position. They haven't figured out the quarterback position, as I think DJ Ukulele is going to be the starter, but I don't love him as the starter. I think they gotta look into a different direction. In week one, Georgia Tech, they'll take that. The first 3 weeks are easy wins. I think Clemson wins them by 30 plus, all three. And then they have their first competition, which is Wake Forest. And Wake Forest was a great team last season with Sam Hartman. But I think this season they've gotten worse. They've lost players to the draft. And I think they're with a weaker Atlantic Division last season. Wake Forest took advantage of that. I mean, Louisville was having a down year. Clemson was having a down year. Boston College was having a down year. It was just it was a pretty easy division, and yet they still couldn't win the conference as Pitt won. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I still think Clemson takes that game easily. NC State upset them last season, but going into Death Valley is just hard to do, and the NC State never succeeds in that. I think Clemson will be able to win this game. It won't be a blowout like it usually is, but it still will be at least a 14 point game. Clemson wins. Boston College and Florida State should be pretty easy wins, even if they are on the road. These are two weak teams who have had better seasons. Syracuse is probably the worst team in the Atlantic, so Clemson will take that. They have a bye week, and then week 10, Notre Dame. At the Notre Dame Stadium, that's no shot they win that game. I mean, Clemson is a good team with an amazing defense, but defenses can't win you every single game. You have to have some sort of offense. Clemson has definitely a weak offense. Notre Dame, on the other hand, they're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to win this game. Louisville is a fun team, but give me Clemson. And then Miami and Clemson is another good game. Miami is known for their defense, but yet again, defense can't win you every single game. And Clemson not having really a quarterback is it's gonna prevent them from winning this game. It's in Death Valley, which is one of the reasons why I think I should take Clemson. But then again, only so much home field advantage can do. I think Miami comes in and upsets them. South Carolina, Clemson will beat easily. Now we got NC State. NC State, first two games, easy wins. Texas Tech will be a little bit tougher, but they'll still win. UConn will be an easy win. And then they play Clemson. Like I said, that's going to be a loss. Florida State, NC State swept easily last season. It was a nice, easy win. Syracuse, like I said, is on a downfall. These three games will be tough because NC State is known for struggling with all three teams. But I think NC State, they're definitely still a good team. Devin Leary has shown a lot of progression since last season, and I think we can win these games. Louisville, another fun team. I think we win that game. But North Carolina, we always have trouble with North Carolina, and they are a great team whenever they play NC State. Give me North Carolina, though, sadly. Louisville, the fun team with Malik Cunningham, but the surrounding cast isn't good enough for them to win more than 9 games. I mean, they'll beat the teams that they need to beat, such as Syracuse, UCF, um, Wake Forest, JMU, uh, those teams. But when it comes to Florida State, another tough team with a good defense and a lot of returning players, it's going to be tough to beat them. Clemson, like I've said, is a great team, and NC State is a great team. All three of these games could be close, but Louisville doesn't have a good enough team to beat any one of them. Wake Forest was amazing last season, but they've just gotten worse. And with a tough schedule, playing Clemson and and NC State and a better Louisville team, UNC, it's just going to be tough for them to play as well as they did last season. I love what they got going with Sam Hartman, but it's not going to be good enough. And I mean, this schedule's too tough for them to win more than 9 games. They'll still be a bowl team. And then Florida State and BC, they're pretty similar. I mean, they're going to be average 6-6. I mean, they got decent teams, but with a very difficult Atlantic division, it's hard for them to win more than 6 games. I'm being generous with both of these teams. Florida State definitely could lose this Louisville game. Definitely could lose this Florida or Louisiana game. Boston College, same thing. I'm being a little generous. They definitely could lose this Rutgers game. They definitely could lose. They could probably lose that's about it. The Rutgers game, maybe the Virginia Tech game, and Syracuse is just having a hard time. They haven't been good in a long time, and with another tough schedule. I mean, you got Louisville, you got Purdue, Virginia, NC State, Notre Dame, Clemson, Pittsburgh, Wake Forest, Florida State. It's just going to wear them down. I think they get an upset win against Florida State, and Wagner and UConn should be easy wins. But I think other than that, moving on to the Coastal, we got Miami. Miami's definitely going to be a good team this season. They have a strong defense, and they've improved their offense since last year. They had a down year, and I'm hoping to see good things for Miami. They start off the year out of the first 4 games will be easy blowout wins for them. Texas A&M will be a very good game, but Texas A&M's just got such a good team. They always have a good team, great coaching, and amazing defense. Texas A&M is a good team, and that I don't think Miami really could win that game. They go on the bye week. They have North Carolina and Virginia Tech, who could be 2 upsets, but I think Miami withstands. Duke will be an easy win. Virginia will be, Virginia and Florida State will be easy wins. Georgia Tech will be an easy win. Like I said, I think they upset Clemson in Death Valley, and then Pittsburgh. After all that hard work beating Clemson, I think Pittsburgh will surprise them. Pitt is another good team. They got Keaton Slovis from the transfer portal. Losing Kenny Pickett is huge because he was a Heisman potential guy, but losing a guy like that to your team really does not help you. They'll still be a decent team, but not as good as recently in last season when they won the ACC championship. West Virginia should be a win, but Tennessee is a growing great team. I think Tennessee takes it over them. All 4 of these should be very easy wins. I think they should have no complaints, and they should have no problem blowing any one of these teams out. Louisville, I think, is a fun team, and coming off the bye, I don't think they'll be ready for Malik Cunningham's dual threat quarterback style. I think North Carolina also gets the best out of them in an upset. Syracuse and Virginia should be easy wins. Duke will be a blowout, and Miami, I think they upset. Virginia, I did not finish this one, but I think they beat Richmond. I think they'll beat Illinois, and they'll beat Old Dominion, and they'll beat Coastal Carolina. 9-3 for Virginia. I don't know about that. I think UNC will beat them right there. And no, I'm going to go with but I think this Virginia team's pretty good. Like, I would say their schedule is very easy for the ACC. Like, they don't have to play Clemson. They don't have to play NC State. The only real tough team they have to play is Miami, and I think they lose that game. Miami and Pitt will be losses. Louisville will take them down pretty easily. But like Duke, Syracuse, Old Dominion, Richmond, Coastal Carolina, Virginia Tech, like those are all going to be very easy wins. Coastal Carolina is a fun team, but I think Virginia gets the best out of them. North Carolina is also a good team, but they've lost Sam Howell. They lost a lot of talent to the draft in the last 2 seasons. The first 3 games should be easy wins, although Appalachian State, I would love to see upset them. Notre Dame will cream North Carolina easily. Like, North Carolina is a fun team. It's a good team. But Notre Dame, this is one of the best Notre Dame teams we've seen. They'll beat them. Virginia Tech, I think, is just a difficult team. Like, they can't seem to put together a champion, like a ACC championship squad. They've been decent, but I think they're nothing but decent. Nothing better than decent. Miami, I think, will beat them. Duke's horrible. Like, Duke is one of the worst teams in college football. Pitt, I think they can beat Pitt. I think they'll upset them. Virginia's tough because them and Virginia are very even. I think home field advantage will be the answer. And then Wake Forest, I think, could take them down. Surprisingly, Georgia Tech and NC State Georgia Tech will be an easy win. NC State will be a tough win, but they usually get the best out of NC State, and it will be tough as an NC State fan for them to take them down in UNC in that tough stadium with all those fans. I think it'll be a close game, but in the end, I think UNC comes out with it. Georgia Tech is just another disaster team. Like, they've just been bad for so many seasons, and with a tough schedule, Clemson, Ole Miss, UCF, Pittsburgh, Miami, it's just they can't do anything if they're playing this good of a they have this hard of a schedule. Virginia Tech's weird because they're 5-7, but they're 1-7 in the conference. I think they could potentially beat. I think they beat Virginia. I was thinking about it for a little. Those rivalry games between teams, they could go either way, and you really don't know what to expect. I think Virginia Tech, they're a good team. I think they also could maybe beat Georgia Tech right here, but that's just another game where you never know. And then Georgia Tech, yeah, like I said, it's just they've never put it together a good team. I think maybe they win only 2 games. They could lose to Duke. I think they'll beat Duke though. I think maybe they lose to Virginia Tech, but no. And then Duke's Duke's a disaster. I mean, ever since even when Daniel Jones was the quarterback, they were mid. But I mean, Temple and NCA&T should win. I wouldn't be surprised if Duke Temple is a good game. Like, that could be a one-score game, but in the end, Duke should not lose that game. NCA&T will be a blowout. Kansas and Duke will be a close game. I think Kansas is a bit overrated, and I think Duke, they're bad, but they're not horrible. Like, I've seen people say that Kansas is going to blow out Duke. I think Duke will at least make this game close. They may lose, but I'm just going to go with Duke for this for the cause. Virginia, Georgia Tech, North Carolina should all. Georgia Tech Duke will be another close game, but I think Georgia Tech will pull it out in the end. UNC will destroy Duke. They beat Duke every single season in every single sport. Miami will also beat Duke very easily. They'll come back on the bye looking for some revenge, and then they'll lose 4 straight games against 4 straight good teams. These are my ACC predictions. I think Miami-Clemson will be the championship, and I think Clemson will get their revenge, and their defense will carry them, but I think in the end, in a defensive game, they'll win 17-9 or 17-10 over Miami. And I think this is going to be a good ACC season, a lot of fun teams, a lot of surprising teams. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you do, be sure to leave a like on it, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what conference I'll do next. I'll do any of them. It doesn't have to be just Power 5, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.